As a Toastmaster member and as a speaker who has presented probably around 1,000 presentations outside of Toastmaster clubs, I'd like to talk a little bit about venues. The influence that a venue has on the speaker and the audience. I've spoken about this before on a number of occasions, but this one will be a little bit different. If you are a Toastmaster and you belong to but one club, you could have perhaps met for maybe 2, 3, 4, 10 years or more in the same venue with the same table layout and roughly the same number of people in the audience, the Toastmaster Club members. And you become very comfortable with that. If you go outside Toastmasters and you're a guest speaker, you will find yourself in all different types of venues, different shaped rooms, rooms with too much glass apparently in them, or too big for the audience. It's very hard to find a room which is too small for the audience. If you have a room that's too small for the audience, thank your lucky stars, because they're going to crowd in, and this will make the atmosphere good for you and for the audience. I have spoken in all manner of venues over the years. Even an L-shaped room with half the audience around the corner. And you might think, well, why didn't you place yourself so that you could see into both rooms? Because at the junction was where the door was, the glass being behind me. So you can find yourself in very awkward venues. If you are a professional speaker, or if you are a guest speaker who doesn't earn money and does the freebie circuit the way I do, the chances are, if you can, get there early and set up the room the way you'd like it. 19 times out of 20, this isn't possible. If you're a guest speaker, you come on and it's already set up for you, the location of the microphone, etc., and that's it. But if you can get there early, and you can work out where you want to stand, and you can even arrange the seating so that the nearest speakers are an optimal distance from you, etc., do it. It makes all the difference to the success of the speech. I'd like to read you a few lines from this book, Dale Carnegie's How to Develop Self-Confidence and Influence People by Public Speaking. And here's what Dale Carnegie says, and he's a man who had, at the time of writing, done thousands of presentations. He says, "The fact is that no audience will be easily moved when it is scattered. Nothing so dampens enthusiasm as wide open spaces and empty chairs between the listeners." There's a message in that, a very profound message. I didn't find that out from a book. I found it out just by experience. I noticed that if I speak to a small audience, it may be 2 tables, but it's a very small room and they're close to me, the atmosphere is terrific. On the other hand, if you have a big room with people widely scattered, sitting on the aisles and at the back, you will not get the same atmosphere as if they're all crowded close together. Another thing he says in the book here, and I'll read it. A man in a large audience tends to lose his individuality. He becomes a member of the crowd and is swayed far more easily than he would be as a single individual. He will laugh at and applaud things that would leave him unmoved if he were only one of half a dozen people listening to you. So there's the point. Crowd the audience together and you get the atmosphere. It's not always possible, I realise that, but if you can, do it. When I did my presentation up in Hong Kong in 2015, I got the MC, the person who was going to introduce me, to get the audience to stand up and move together and crowd up to the front. If she hadn't done it, I would have done it, because I felt it was essential in a room which would hold so many to get those people up close together and close to me. Very important. Know your venue, get there early, set it up to be optimally good for you as a speaker and for the audience. And remember, the crowd, the audience, crowd them together and you've far more chance of getting the results you want as a speaker.